The downfall of LaBrant family. A father and daughter sit in a car and lip sync to a song. That video passed 100 million views. Not the channel, that one upload. A wedding video on the same account reached around 51 million.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. Cole Richard LaBrant. From the first time that I met you at the Grove, I didn't believe that someone as godly and amazing as you would fall for a girl who had a 3-year-old. I was just coming out of a horrible relationship. A relationship that took everything out of me, made me feel unworthy, and I'd put in my head that nobody would accept me or like me since I had a kid. I never thought I would find somebody who not only choose and love me, but also choose and love my daughter even more.
For most of the last decade, the ordinary events of one family in Tennessee performed like network television. In December 2025, that same account posted a Christmas special. It was the first family vlog they had uploaded in roughly a year.
Blue. So it's been 1 year since we last filmed.
Has it been a whole year since we posted a video?
Yes, our last video was last Christmas.
So Mom is doing Posey's hair because
we have Christmas Eve service and Posey and Zealand are going to be reciting a Bible story on stage. You want to show them your line?
But Mary treasured up all these things and kept them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. On the 8th day, he was named Jesus, the name the angel gave him before he was conceived.
Perfect!
And then you want to sing the little song?
Before he was conceived, cradle of the day.
Nothing had gone bankrupt. Nobody had been arrested. The followers were still there, and most of them are still there today. So this isn't a story about a family losing money, and it would be dishonest to sell it that way. The LaBrants are wealthier now than they were at their peak, and we'll go through the numbers. This is a story about what they spent to get there, and about a law that arrived in Tennessee this year and put a number on it. It starts in 2015, and it starts with a child who was 2 years old. Before there was a LaBrant family channel, there was an Instagram account. Savannah, then a young single mother, and another mother built a fashion account around their 2 daughters. Coverage from 2015 reported it had passed 80,000 followers. The girls were 2. 2 mothers had worked out the whole business at that point. Put a child's image in front of an audience, and brands will pay to reach both. Everything after that was scale.
Everleigh. Why is he trying here? We watch your videos. I like yours a lot.
Ashley wants to say hi.
Hi, Everleigh. I love your music video. Thanks. Everleigh. Do you want one of these new Goo Goo Galaxy dolls? Show her. What color do you want? Do you want to meet Ninja Kids too?
Here, here's the Ninja Kid.
Hello.
Hello.
Bye.
All right, you guys ready to say goodbye?
Bye.
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 Bye, baby.
Bye.
The winner that gets to right here gets to win $100.
On your mark, get set, go.
By 2020, Everleigh was reportedly one of the youngest earning child influencers on Instagram. She was 7 years old, and she had been working for 5 of them. Cole entered that story rather than starting it, but he wasn't new to the mechanics. He'd come up on Vine as part of an Alabama comedy trio and drew national attention in 2015 with a promposal video aimed at Selena Gomez. His experience was in content engineered for reach. Hers was in building a brand around a child. Those 2 skills set combined in 2017 when they married. What followed had a rhythm: a proposal, a wedding, a pregnancy, a birth, a sibling announcement, then another pregnancy, another birth, another announcement, each one arriving as a as a title, a thumbnail, a reveal, and a set of follow-up uploads. In December 2023, announcing their fourth child together, Cole described it in his own words as starting to feel like a tradition. He was joking. The description was accurate. The pregnancy announcement had become an annual content slot. None of that was decided by the children. The adults chose the framing, wrote the titles, signed the sponsorships, and published. Childhood supplied the material. August 2018, the Holy Fire burned through parts of Orange County, California. The LaBrants published a video whose title and thumbnail indicated the family had been forced to evacuate.
Length online. Some called him a bigot while others defended him, but Cole claims to love all gays. Cole and Sav caught some serious heat in 2018 when they appeared to fake a wildfire evacuation. In the offending video, they claimed that they were being forced to abandon their California home because of the holy fire raging nearby, which destroyed over 10,000 acres.
Hey, you know that we're leaving the fire, right? We're going far, far away.
We're going away from the fire so you don't have to be scared anymore. Yeah.
Cole and a pregnant Sav got into a car with Everleigh and left for San Francisco, but they were soon outed by neighbors who confirmed that no evacuation notices were issued for their Orange County neighborhood. One neighbor criticized the couple's decision to exploit such a serious situation, in her words.
Just so that they could get more likes or more hits on their channel.
The YouTubers tried to contain the damage by changing the video's original title of "A Giant Fire Makes Us Evacuate Our House" to "We Left Our House Because of Fires in California."
See the thumbnail where it's them looking scared?
Wow. Yeah, we were never.
LaAce reported that county fire officials said the community had received no evacuation notice and that the fire never approached the property. The family had every reason to leave. Savannah was pregnant, the smoke was real, and no one is obliged to wait for an official notice. They chose to go. And then they described it as though the county had ordered them out. They published that while other households nearby were losing homes. After criticism, the title and thumbnail were changed. It's the first documented time they took something real but ordinary and sold it harder than the facts allowed. They corrected it only after the video had done its numbers.
The neighborhood was never at risk from the wildfire.
There was no evacuation notice to Ladera Ranch.
Marissa Seamus lives near the LaBrants. She says plenty of the neighbors are not amused by the social media influencers.
I just think it's really sad that they would exploit a situation that's as serious as a fire that so many people were evacuated from, just so that they could get more likes or more hits on their channel.
On the YouTube video, Cole shows their suitcases packed and ready to load into the car. The rest of the video is more like a travelogue, since evacuation for the LaBrants meant heading to a hotel and touring San Francisco. The screenshot on their YouTube page is particularly offensive to this Ladera Ranch resident. See the thumbnail where it's them looking scared?
Wow. Yeah, that is just, that was never even, we were never even near that.
That shot is meant to entice people to click on the video, and clicks means income.
I have friends who were evacuated in very scary situation, so, kind of making light of that, I don't think was proper, just to make a buck.
The following year, Cole and Savannah told their 6-year-old daughter that they were giving her dog away. They filmed her reaction and published it as entertainment. CBS News reported that the couple later posted a response in which they defended their parenting while acknowledging that putting the video online had been a mistake.
In a recent video I made about the LaBrant family, I said that they were MLM peddlers, as the LaBrant fam or the LaBrant family on social media are family influencers, Christian influencers, and now MLM peddlers. And I had a lot of comments asking what an MLM is and what MLM they were peddling. For those of you that don't know, MLM stands for multi-level marketing, which is kind of a pyramid scheme and is a very cult-like business structure. MLMs are just predatory in nature, and about a year ago, Cole LaBrant joined an MLM and then invited a lot of his followers from the app that they built as a family to come on a call that was a pitch to join their MLM. The company that they joined was called Neolife, and the videos that were circulating about it were pretty I think probably embarrassing for the LaBrant family. Hannah Alonso did a great deep dive explaining why the video that Cole did was predatory, and she has created a lot of great content about MLMs and why they're predatory in general. But Cole LaBrant used a lot of religious language and emotional manipulation on this call to get people to join underneath him and be his downline in this MLM called Neolife. This was about a year ago. I haven't seen anything about it since. It did kind of go viral that they were getting people to join. So I would assume they probably didn't do any more videos, or it's possible that they just kept them like very, very private after that. But yeah, they were definitely advertising for an MLM using religious language, which is very manipulative.
At the time of that report, both the original and the response remained available and monetized. That sequence repeats later, so it's worth being precise about it. A private moment involving a child became content. People objected. The objection became a second video. Both kept earning. They apologized and left it up, which turned one upload into two. In 2021, the family published a documentary titled "She Got Diagnosed with Cancer." The video opens on an unrelated health scare involving their daughter, then moves to a different family's experience with childhood cancer. Its stated purpose was awareness. Nobody disputes the content of the film. It's how they sold it. LaBrant thumbnail, LaBrant faces, and a title written in the first person. A viewer clicking that video had every reason to believe one of the LaBrant children had been diagnosed.
Cole's always a little more like stressed out about things with the kids, just like health issues, them getting hurt, anything, it always stresses. If it stresses me out like this much, it stresses Cole out like this much. Posey has kind of given us a run with just she's been hospitalized 3 times, right?
Yeah, in Posey, first year of life, she had to go to the ER 3 times, and not even including the cruise.
You guys, it wasn't even just she was kind of sick and we had to go. She was projectile vomiting, had to get an IV, got x-rays.
It's not normal sick.
No, she's always scared us so bad.
I was truly just riddled with anxiety. I had convinced myself that our 2-year-old daughter had cancer, and it sounds so blunt and so almost bad to say, but I was convinced, and I wasn't eating. I couldn't sleep. She had bruising on her legs, like most kids do, but as you Google things, you can just convince yourself of stuff, and that's my personality, unfortunately.
And we really didn't talk to anybody about it.
No.
That's the thing, too, so I think it was eating him up inside, too, just only talking to me about it, who I feel like I was taking all the weight for him, because I was no, it's fine. Because I feel like I had to be that way, because if we were both...
Cole subsequently acknowledged on Instagram stories that the title was misleading and apologized. The evidence does not support a claim that they fabricated a diagnosis. They did not. What they did was construct the presentation so that viewers would reach that conclusion independently before learning whose story they were actually watching. They had made this exact decision 3 years earlier about a wildfire. They were doing it again about cancer. Savannah was scheduled to be induced at midnight. Hours before that, their 2-year-old son, Zealand, had a febrile seizure. He stopped breathing. Cole performed CPR on him while waiting for paramedics. Cole later described it publicly as the scariest day of their lives. Zealand recovered from several hours in hospital. Days later, Cole and Savannah filmed a sit-down video explaining what had happened and were criticized for it. I want to push back on the criticism here rather than the repeat. An audience that size will ask questions when a child is hospitalized, and answering them is defensible. A family with 8 million followers has a reasonable case for addressing it directly rather than letting speculation run. What the incident establishes is narrower, and it holds. By 2022, the interval between a frightening private event and its publication had become measurable in days. That was true of the fire in 2018, the dog in 2019, and the hospital in 2022. By then, nobody in that house was deciding whether to film. They were only deciding when to post. The LaBrants launched an app. Barefoot is a Christian family platform. Cole announced it on his own account, describing it as a Christian app and platform they had made. The listings on both the Apple App Store and Google Play Store describe what it sells: courses on marriage and on raising children, covering subjects from potty training in a toddler to finding a spouse, daily devotionals, anonymous forums, monthly giveaways the listing describes as ranging from $10,000 in cash to family vacations, twice monthly live streams featuring Cole and Savannah with guests. The subscription runs around $7 a month. According to user reviews, payment is required as account creation before any content is visible. The children do not appear in the product. That distinction matters, and it's been reported incorrectly elsewhere. What's being sold is parenting authority. The reason a stranger would pay $7 a month for Cole and Savannah LaBrant's advice on raising children is 9 years of watching them raise children on camera. Their children earned them that credibility. The product they built on it doesn't need the children in the room. That is a more efficient structure than family vlogging, and it points at where the business was going. In December of 2024, Cole and Savannah announced they were finished having children. The announcement was posted with a caption stating in their words that they had spent the past 7 years pregnant, having 5 kids, and were officially done. Cole put it more bluntly in a video that year, advising anyone considering 5 children to think again. Family vlogging had by then slowed to almost nothing. Short form filled the gap. TikTok, Reels, Facebook video, and Shorts carry a moment without requiring a 20-minute narrative or any context a viewer could examine.
So while we were in Texas, we sat down with Israel Jones, who actually went through with an abortion, to later find out a few months later that she's now having this miracle baby. And it's just one of the most insane stories that we've ever heard.
Yeah.
And something that you have to hear for yourself.
Yeah.
I started dating this guy that I was very much in love with. And we got pregnant. His response was just like, oh, well, it's 2020, like we can't do this, we can't have a baby right now. He was just like, well, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I'm gonna leave the decision up to you and everything. But we weren't even fighting or anything. He just got up and left. And I was heartbroken. Like, I went ahead and made the rash decision, like, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna just get it over with, and I don't wanna think about it. I just wanna get it over with and get back to what I was doing, get back to life, I followed through with the Planned Parenthood stuff, and I did attempt an abortion. They gave me the pill, and, I went home. They sent me home to do this abortion by myself, which that was like, wow, I gotta go home and deal with this, on my own. So that night, I had an abortion. I lost something. And then shortly after that, my body was like trying to heal,
That shift is easy to miss because the numbers did not drop. A clip of one of the kids doing a trend can still pull several million views. What disappeared was the format that made the audience feel like they knew this family, and that format that critics could actually hold up and examine. You can't fact-check a 9-second dance the way you can fact-check a title that says a fire forced them out of their home.
Like, if someone is truly pro-life, pro-life, what does that mean? Not pro-birth, pro-life. And if you are truly pro-life and pro-family and pro-children, where is their non-existent plea to help all the children that are in literal cages in the border?
Yeah, I was about to say,
like
what happened to those
on
kids?
the U.S. border, who are being sexually assaulted and abused and are ripped away from their families, which a lot of time they never see again, and dying from neglect. Where's your compassion for them? Where is the documentary, about all the children in the adoption system who are traumatized and neglected and beaten and trafficked and stuck within a system that leaves them to rot if they aren't white and able-bodied or young? Because you don't give a crap about actual children's lives. You just give a crap about controlling people's bodies.
In December 2025, Bev Skin launched. A twin and teen skincare line publicly attached to their eldest daughter, reportedly developed with chemists over roughly 2 years. A teenager is allowed commercial ambitions. What her parents built is another commercial layer around a child who had spent her whole life inside a family business she never chose to enter.
Dear Jesus, I thank you for this amazing time that we get to share together with all of my wonderful friends, God. I thank you that they could all make it here tonight to support Bev, God. I pray that the success for Bev can just be so beyond your words, and that you can just bless it with all of your hands and might. God, I pray that you bless this dinner and that you bless my friendships, God.
Then Frosh, a children's protein drink co-founded with Ciara and Russell Wilson. It reportedly sold over 5,000 cases online within a day and entered roughly 1,650 Target stores. Frosh appears to be succeeding, which is exactly why the word downfall needs qualifying here. The LaBrants did not fail. They converted. 10 years of family content became consumer products on physical shelves, and the transition worked. What they could no longer produce was the thing the products were sold on. Current figures put Savannah near 30 million TikTok followers and Cole near 23 million, with roughly 12.7 million YouTube subscribers and 4.7 billion lifetime views. The audience stayed.
If you have kids, you already know this struggle. Your kid comes home from school and ate all the snacks but took only one bite of the sandwich. Or how about lunch, where they eat the fruit but don't touch the grilled chicken or the turkey. I'm tired of wasting money on beef sticks, and don't even get me started with eggs. There has to be an easier way to get protein into kids. That's it. I've been working on something for the past 12 months. Check this out. Frosh. Yeah, protein juice boxes. Kids love juice, but only if it actually tastes good. Kids don't lie, so now it's time for the true test. Will my picky eaters approve? They like it. They don't just like it, they can't get enough of it. They finish the entire thing and have no idea they just got protein, vitamins, minerals, and less sugar than every other juice box. Even my 2-year-old likes it. Comment Frosh and I'll DM you where to get these.
The trust that audience was built on did not, and 2026 is where that becomes measurable. In March and April of 2026, the Tennessee legislature passed Senate Bill 1469. The governor signed it April 16th and it took effect July 1st. The filed text is more specific than most coverage of it, and several widely reported details are wrong. A minor is legally engaged in content creation when at least 30% of a creator's compensated video within a 30-day window features that child's likeness, name, or photograph measured by actual screen time, and that video earns at least 1 cent per view. Reporting that cited 10 cents per view or a $15,000 annual earnings floor was describing an earlier version. Neither is in the enacted law. Sector 302 states that a minor under 14 years of age shall not engage in the work of content creation as defined. It bans them from appearing. It doesn't ask that they be paid for it. Violations carry a $2,000 civil penalty, and the statute specifies that each instance counts separately. Minors between 14 and 17 may produce their own content and must receive 100% of its proceeds, held in trust until they turn 18. 3 further provisions received almost no coverage. Section 307 requires that video containing a minor's likeness to be deleted on request, either by a minor aged 14 or older or by an adult who was under 18 when the footage was made. That applies to material already published. Section 306 voids any waiver of these protections and bars courts from enforcing one regardless of contract or choice of law. Section 304 and 305 give the minor standing to sue for actual damages, punitive damages, attorney fees, court costs, and injunctive relief.
And one thing about these family channel influencers is they're going to make their children pick up that bill, because the LaBrant family have teased that they're going to be relisting their $5.4 million Tennessee mansion literally less than a year than taking it off the market. Why is that? Well, that's because the state that they're in, Tennessee, has just released a bill. This bill was only passed on the 11th of April this month.
Influencers in Tennessee who feature kids in their content will now be required by law to pay those children a portion of the money they make online.
Social media stars aren't posting just for fun anymore. They're doing it to make a living.
They are making incredible amounts of money through sponsorships. We're not having kids in coal mines and sweatshops anymore, but we are having kids who in the digital age are being monetized for content creation.
And the rules of this bill is as follows. Kids under the age of 14 cannot make money posting their own content. Kids between the ages of 14 to 18 are entitled to 100% of the money it is that they profit from being online. And if a child appears within 30% of a creator's monetized content within 30 days, the child must be compensated. And also, the bill requires families to set up a trust for the child that they can access when they are 18 years old. The content creators are now going to be forced to keep records and track things such as how much money they're making and how much of the child's content is featured, as well as how much money they've set aside to be put inside one of these trusts. But also, one of the good things about this bill is this bill also gives the child autonomy and rights. If a child between the ages of 14 to 18 asks for a video to be deleted, it must be taken down. Because Tennessee said, hey, maybe kids deserve rights and money for the content it is that they star in. And suddenly it's Right Move, Influencer Edition. And the response wasn't great, let us help protect our kids. It was pack the light, we are leaving the state. I mean, imagine being so dependent on your child to make money that child labor laws literally feels like a personal attack. It's giving, we support family values as long as it's monetized. And I'm not saying that they're moving because of the law. I'm just saying that they are doing Olympic level gymnastics. Because here's the thing, this isn't random. This is the internet finally saying that children shouldn't be your full-time employees. So if your business model collapses the moment that your children get rights, then that's not a family channel. That's a startup with a bedtime routine. And moving to avoid paying your kids. Not only is that just downright bad vibes and negative and disgusting, it's also just tax evasion with extra steps. But tell me what it is that you guys think. Do you think that this Tennessee law is protecting kids? Or for you, is it ruining family vlogging?
One definition governs all of it. The statute covers video filmed in Tennessee featuring a minor who is a Tennessee resident. Both conditions must be met. Relocation is a complete and lawful exit from every provision in the law. The LaBrants moved from California to Tennessee in 2023. California enacted its own child influencer legislation afterward, so the move did not follow a law. They purchased the Nashville property in 2022 for approximately $4.5 million. In April 2024, they announced an 18-acre property nearby with plans for a farmhouse and outbuildings. Later that year, they listed the Nashville house at approximately $5.4 million and withdrew it within weeks. All of that preceded SB 1469. The Senate passed the bill in March 2026. The House passed it in early April. Coverage that it was heading to the governor's desk appeared around April 9th. The House was listed on April 13th. On April 15th, the listing was withdrawn and Cole published a video responding to accusations that the family was leaving Tennessee to avoid the law. The governor signed the following day. In it, he stated that all 5 children had bank accounts, but they had been paid since the family began making videos, and that the family intended to stay in Tennessee. The property returned to the market June 1st at approximately $5.3 million. On June 22nd, the LaBrants confirmed the sale, published another walkthrough, and repeated that they were remaining in Tennessee. The law took effect on July 1st. The accusation does not survive the timeline. The land purchase and the first listing predate the bill by well over a year. The accusation does not survive the timeline. The land purchase and the first listing predate the bill by well over a year. More directly, relocation was the only complete legal exit available. It was available to them throughout, and they publicly declined it twice. The accusation still tells you something, just about the house. By April 2026, a listing was enough for a large part of the audience to assume the worst without evidence. They'd learned that from the Wildfire title, the dog video, and the cancer documentary. So the timeline clears them. What it can't do is explain away why so few people were willing to wait for it, and that part they built themselves over 9 years. All 5 LaBrant children are currently under 14. Everleigh is 13. The family is in Tennessee. The law is in effect. Whether it binds them depends on whether their content meets the 30% screen time threshold across a 30-day window, which is an internal figure that cannot be calculated from outside. No public statement addresses it. Everleigh turns 14 later this year. At that point, she moves out of the category the statute protects by prohibition, and into the one it addresses by rights. She becomes able to produce her own content and retain all of its proceeds. She also becomes able to request the removal of footage of herself with standing to sue if that request isn't met. She has said nothing publicly to suggest she intends to. It would be inaccurate to imply otherwise, and this is not a prediction. It's a description of what changed. For 9 years, whether these children appeared in monetized video was determined entirely by their parents, permanently, and there was no mechanism by which the children could revisit it. As of July 1st, the oldest of them, there is one. The LaBrants The LaBrants retain the audience and the reach. Frosh is on the shelves. Beef skin is selling. By every commercial measure, the family is doing well. Everything they've ever uploaded is still online. And as of this month, that there is a law that says some of it can be taken down on request. Sound off in the comments what you think about this.